everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Wild and Unbelievable News, and I'm your host, Toon Dollars, where we cover some of the craziest news stories from around the world. Up at number 6, source metro.co.uk.com. Could this be the fastest wheelie bin in the world? A man has customized a wheelie bin to give it a top speed of 36 miles per hour. Now, when we're talking about wheelie bin, guys, we're talking about a trash can. Basically, my man put a motorized vehicle inside of a trash can, and now it's called the wheelie bin. Andy Jennings, 27, spent 200 hours adapting the bin into a green speed machine, adding a motorbike engine and parts from a mobility scooter. You know, one of the mobility scooters that the old people be riding around with? Yeah, one of those. He's now able to hop inside and easily overtake dog walkers. He be at the park and people be walking their dogs and he be like, bang, bang, and you see a trash can just roll by you. That's crazy. So much better than getting drunk and pushing someone around in a shopping trolley, he says. Andy built the beast to raise money for a childhood friend, Ben Ellis, who suffered brain damage from a blood clot and now requires round-the-clock care. He will attempt to set a world record for the fastest bin when Guinness Book of World Record inspectors come to evaluate him in May. That's amazing, guys. I mean, I guess it's for a good cause. His buddy needs around-the-clock treatment, and it's very costly. So what he's doing in order to raise funds is he created this racing trash can. I mean, it looks funny. It's a funny-looking vehicle. Like, if you look at it, it's a standard trash can. I guess in the UK, they don't call them trash cans. They call them bins, hence why it's called the fastest wheelie bin. But in America, we would call it a trash can. So my man got a racing trash can. He's the first dude in the block with a racing trash can. The bin has been customized with the rear axle of a go-kart as well as a 110cc 4-speed pit bike engine. My man got gears on his trash can. Yo, he pooping on a lot of people. It has a bike seat, handlebars from a kid's scooter, and the seat post and steering wheel from a mobility scooter. He took the bin out for his first spin, and we went to a closed road near an industrial unit that he rents, and he captured the footage. At the moment, the bin reached 36 miles per hour. Now, it's not incredibly lightning fast, but for a trash can, do you got one that's faster? That's dope. Like, dog walkers like came up to him and started like congratulating him. Like, they were like at awe at first. They was looking at him like, what is that? But then they shook his hand and they gave him props. That's super dope, guys. It's straight up a green yo, he only going 36 miles an hour. My man got a helmet on. I wonder how aerodynamic it is. And then for him to take the crown, the fastest wheelie bin, does it wheelie? I see that he has a wheelie bar. Yo, it's crazy. It looks like he got like a gear shifter and it's outside of the trash can. I don't know how that thing works, but I give him mad props, yo. My man got a racing trash can, aka wheelie bin. Up at number 5, the source is UPI.com. A man finds a box of $27,000 outside a Michigan credit union. You guys have to listen to this one. On January 23rd, a Michigan man leaving the drive-thru ATM at a credit union investigated a plastic box in the middle of the road and discovered it contained $27,000 cash. I repeat, $27,000 cash. This is crazy, guys. George Kondash said he was leaving the Westland Federal Credit Union in Westland when he spotted the plastic box on the roadway. He said, well, first, I just thought it was trash. For some reason, it hit me that, why don't I just pick it up so no one else has to swerve around it? Kondash discovered the box that was an ATM cassette. It was one of the cassettes that you fill up with cash when you refill the ATMs. The cassette box was full of cash, and it showed in the security video that he picked it up and he walked it straight inside. Yo, what would y'all have done? Like, think about it. You're in the drive-thru, you're making a deposit, or you're doing a withdrawal, then you see a little black box in the middle of the road. Most of you guys would have probably drove around it like everybody else. This dude stepped out of the vehicle, decided to move it to be a good Samaritan, you know what I mean? And when he looked at it and he checked it, it was money. And my man ain't be out with it. He ain't take it and go, money, 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 money. He ain't ball out with it. He was honest. He went inside the building. He gave it back to the credit union. That's crazy. He said, I picked it up and noticed the tag said that it was $40,000. He said, I said, is there a $40,000 reward for it? He said, and I put it on their counter and they just looked dumbfounded. Imagine the staff when a dude walks into the building like, hey guys, I found your box outside with $27,000 cash. Do you want it back? The staff's like, reggy dude. Like, he said the box actually only contained $27,000, had mistakenly been left in the roadway by an armored truck security guard. Somebody's getting fired. Security guard. Yo, that armored truck dude probably took 13 stacks and bounce. But matter of fact, they can probably track the camera system, you know what I mean? Because I guess that's how they found out that he didn't take any. Because if you think about it, maybe he like took 13,000 and walked the rest inside and said, hey, I only found 27. But I guess on the security camera, it shows the actual minute by minute from him pulling out of the drive-through, getting out, and he literally just picked it up. He didn't go in his vehicle. He didn't go like cash out, take, you know, a couple $100, maybe a couple thousand. No, he just went and walked straight into the bank and gave it back. That's incredible, guys. I can't repeat how incredible that is, because I want to know, what would you have done if you found a cash box with $27,000? He said, it's not mine, and any honest person, I would hope, would take it back in. All right, next up, at number 4, reported by allthat'sinteresting.com, the 40-year-old father claims he made a request merely to match the absurdity that he believes he's endured from his ex's attorney throughout the divorce. There's this dude who he's going through a divorce, and he recommended to the courts if he can have a sword battle with his ex-wife. Yo, he straight up went to court and said, like, can we battle it out like the old times back in Britain, back in 1818? And it's not outlawed. That's the thing, though. He looked into the law and everything, and it's not outlawed. Look, it said, it's no secret divorce can get ugly, but sometimes even veer on the ridiculous, as in the case of a Kansas man who asked an Iowa court to approve a trial by combat against his ex-wife using Japanese swords. Yo, my man is wild. Yo, he's beyond belief, dog. Like, look at, according to the USA Today, the samurai wannabe is 40-year-old David Ostrom, who told the court that his ex-wife, Bridget Ostrom, had destroyed him legally. Thus, it only made sense that they settle their custody battle using a tradition from a culture he most certainly knows nothing about. My man trying to adapt some foreign stuff here in America. The sword battle, Ostrom said, would allow him to duke it out with his ex. Yo! He dead serious. You gotta see a picture of his face. Like, he's like he dead serious. Like, he want this to go down. It would allow him to duke it out with his ex or her attorney. Yo, my man said, look it, you and your attorney can get it, because y'all both took bread from me. Yo, he shot out, dog. Like, on the field of battle where he would rend their souls from their corporal bodies. Yikes. That's incredible. He straight up told this to the judge. Like, how you gonna do that, my man? Like, you getting yourself into hotter waters. To accommodate the duel, Ostrom asked that the Iowa District Court allow him 12 weeks of lead time to either make or find some samurai swords, preferably a katana or a wakizashi. Yo, he be watching Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff. Dog, he straight up want to pull out swords. Like, and the thing is that he went and he did the research and everything. It says, Ostrom asserted that the antiquated method had been used as recently as 1818 in British court, which in fact, 200 years ago outside of the US, not to mention that British sword fighting is probably a lot different than the Japanese base duel Ostrom referred to in his request. So I guess British sword fighting, they did the hungar, like the fencing. I'm assuming, I don't have no facts here, but I'm assuming he's basing it off of the British, you know, ching, ching, the little pointy long swords. They be ching, 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 hungar, ching, right? But he want to use like Japanese swords. Like he must really have a vendetta against her. Yo, that's not funny, but it's kind of crazy. That's unbelievable. Yo, he really went to court and said, can I like sword battle it out with my ex-wife? Up at number 3, source, foxnews.com. This mugshot is priceless, guys. Let me read this headline. Massachusetts serial pooper arrested after police catch her defecating in parking lot, reports. Yo, a serial pooper? What are they gonna come up with next? Like, serial pooper? You guys gotta listen to this. A Massachusetts woman accused of defecating in a parking lot of the local Natick store for months was arrested Wednesday after she was caught in the act. Damn, she got caught red-handed with her pants down. Andrea, I believe it's Andrea Grosser, 51 years old, was charged with 8 counts of wanton destruction property after Natick police officers said he saw her defecating outside the Natick outdoor store around 7 a.m. Police were first alerted to the serial pooper in December when Henry Canner, the store owner, reported human feces there on 8 separate occasions in October. Damn, so she was going there back to back and just taking a smash in the parking lot. Like, she could have used the store bathroom. No, she went outside. She said, I like that spot. I like that spot. She was marking her territory. Like, low key, she was like, I own all this. This whole entire parking lot. It's mine. Yo, her mugshot, though, like, why did she make that face? Like, was she constipated? She was like, Police began investigating, initially believing it might be an animal. But then they found toilet paper and other wipes. She came prepared. Yo, she ain't use leaves. She said, I'm coming prepared. Like, I got toilet paper, Scott tissue, swoop, and she just dropped it there. That is gangster. What y'all think? That's gangster or no? Up at number 2, the source is WSBTV.com. Now, this one touches home, guys. In West Philadelphia, born and raised. Yeah, you guessed it. Will Smith gets a new role, except not as an actor, but as a Lyft driver to promote Bad Boys sequel. Miami. This all happened in Miami. Why ain't go down in Philly, Will? What's up with Philly, dog? Like, dog, you drawing, Will, why ain't you come down to Philly? And he's like, nah, I ain't going down to Philly because, like, they gonna be busting at me and they gonna try to jam him up, like, you know what I mean? But Will Smith is out promoting his latest movie, Bad Boys for Life. And it involves being a Lyft driver for unsuspecting ride hailers. Now imagine you call a Lyft and Big Willie Will pull up like, yo, Will Smith, it's Will Smith, like, yo, that's crazy. Not to mention, my man, he don't pull up in no standard vehicle. Listen to this. Passengers were in for quite a surprise when their Lyft rolled up in Miami as a 2020 Porsche Taycan pulled up. My man pulls up in a 2020 Porsche, bro. But who was behind the wheel was even more of a shock. The actor/rapper himself was going to drive them to their destinations, ABC News reported. They had been told that they were testing a new feature for the company. One man was forced to call his girlfriend on FaceTime so that she could see Smith with her own eyes after the actor had found out that she watched Bad Boys every week. So my man, like, jumped into the Lyft and he was like, yo, it's Big Willie. I gotta tell my wife. He got on FaceTime. He's like, yo, babe. Will Smith. And she happened to be a big fan and she used to watch his movies on a weekly basis. So that's super duper dope. Like, that's incredible. And not to mention, but along with the A-list ride, the lucky few also got another surprise. Free Lyft rides for the next year. Hey, yo, that's dope. Like, that's dope. Like, that's really cool. Like, they ain't gotta pay for Lyft rides. Like, yo, listen, if I have a whip, I'm using Lyft all the time because it's free now. Like, I'm saving gas for a whole year. That's thumbs up. That's super duper dope. But Will, dog, come and try that experiment in Philly, dog. Like, I don't even take Lyft, but if you in Philly and I find that out, dog, pick me up, dog. Skirt in that Porsche. That's tough. Up at number 1. Now we have a serious topic to talk about, guys. I know the last few news articles were lighthearted, but this is more on a serious subject matter. California has confirmed its 3rd case of the coronavirus, guys. This is something that spun off at the end of 2019 and was announced during the new year, and for the last 3 to 4 weeks have been on the headlines. And I think this is something very important that we should all talk about. The 3rd case of the coronavirus in the U.S. was confirmed in Southern California on Saturday. According to the Orange County Healthcare Agency Communicable Disease Control Division, the patient had recently returned from Wuhan, China, epicenter of the outbreak that is believed to have taken over 56 people's lives. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with what this virus is, I'm going to talk about it and sum it all up. It is a airborne virus that can be passed through respiratory through breathing, sneezing, and coughing. It's a virus that started in Wuhan, China, which is the epicenter, which is the central a tourist spot in China, and Wuhan, China had a meat market where they were selling a variety of seafood, wild animals, chickens, and things of that nature, live and both not alive. That virus started in that meat market. Now, they don't know exactly how it started, whether it came from a snake, whether it came from a bat, whether it came from chicken, but it was all within that same meat market where all of these animals that I just mentioned that were being sold for consumption. When I followed it, it started with a small 50 or so people infected, 1 fatality. Then by day 2, I noticed that it spread to 100 or so infected. Then another couple fatalities. Then our first case here in America, it was a Washington College student infected who was in Wuhan, China. After that American case, the next day it was 2 American cases detected, Texas and Washington. And then it was 400 or 500 infected in Wuhan, China. The people who passed grew to the 20s, to the double digits. It went to 21, 22 people who didn't make it, who lost the battle to the virus. Then by day 3 or so here in America, it got to about roughly 22 states, everywhere from California to Washington to Texas to Tennessee to even Chicago. There was a woman from Chicago who was confirmed to have signs and symptoms, and it has been continuing to spread ever since. Last I checked the numbers, yesterday it was about 1,200 people in Wuhan infected, and it was roughly 41 or so people who passed, who lost their battle with the virus. As of today, to my knowledge, it's 2,000 people infected in Wuhan, China, and about 51 people lost to the battle of the coronavirus. And there are more cases that are being brought to light here. Now, what makes this virus tough is that it shows signs and symptoms of flu. So the flu, you cough, you sneeze, itchy throat, nausea, heat, your temperature rises. It has the same symptoms as the common cold and flu. The thing is that there is an incubation period where most people don't know that they have it until a week. It says from 5 to up to 14 days later, signs and symptoms no show. So they did a full lockdown in Wuhan, China. They closed down the city. The city is a ghost town. Over 20 million people. Now, the thing is, that's crazy, is that this got kicked off right before the Lunar New Year. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Lunar New Year is, you know how here in America, we celebrate one day for New Year? Well, in China, they celebrate a month. They get a whole month to do their celebration. And that just kicked off like a week ago. And that's when the spread really started to take place, because we traveled through planes. And like I said, Wuhan, China is the epicenter, is one of the most popular spots in China. And a lot of people travel in and out from all over the world, from multiple countries, etc., etc. People started traveling for the holidays, and what happened was they started taking it with them. Now, the people at the airports are using devices in order to take temperatures, so they make sure that if you show signs and symptoms, or if your body has elevated heat, even if you don't have the virus, they're going to send you, they're not going to allow you to board the plane, or they're not going to allow you to leave the country, because they want you to get medical attention. Now, the problem with it having an incubation period of 5 days to almost 2 weeks is that they can test people, and right there and then they don't show no signs and symptoms, and then a week later they are coughing and they're starting to feel everything that is related to the coronavirus. But the problem lies in that week or so that they did not feel any signs and symptoms. They done interacted with several dozen people. Different people came from different walks of life. So imagine if it's a teacher and now she's in a classroom with X amount of students for a whole week, and they get the signs and symptoms a week later because they didn't know that she had it. And then they continue to, each one interacts with several people, and so on. So this is something serious, guys, because we haven't seen something like this since 1918, 1919, around 1920 roughly, when something called the Spanish flu took out over 100 million lives. 100 million lives. And the most alarming part about that story is that that was before air transportation. So the Spanish flu took out over 100 million people when there weren't airplanes, when technology didn't really exist, when it wasn't as thriving as it is now. Right now in 2020, about 100 years later, We have jets, we have planes, we have buses, we have mobile transportation. We have so many things where now it's traveling at a rapid pace. Now, America does not want you to fear. They don't want you to fear. I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm here to educate and to share news for some of my viewers who I just want to give you guys a heads up. Wash your hands. Always wash your hands. Use soap and water. Disinfect any surfaces you use, such as cell phone. Remember, your cell phone is dirtier than your toilet. Keep that in mind. Keep your cell phone sanitized. They're wearing masks. They say masks are helpful. However, as recent as 2 days ago, I learned that the virus can also enter your eyes. The healthcare professionals over there that are treating it in the hospitals were wearing masks and was wearing the hazmat suits. However, they were still getting infected through their eyes. So this is serious, guys. This is serious to an extent. It hasn't really went widespread here in America. They're actually a couple of days away from declaring if it's going to be a global pandemic or not. In China right now, they have it as a level 1 health hazard. Like I said, they shut down the city. The city looks like a ghost town. What's supposed to be a live, lit party time for the people of China is not the same. So with that being said, guys, it is serious. Right here, the numbers show 56 did not make it. 1,975 cases have been reported. And it's continuing to grow. It's continuing to grow at such a rapid pace that in China, Wuhan, China, they literally, right now as we speak, are working on a hospital to seat 1,000 beds. 1,000 beds. And they're trying to build that hospital in 1 week. Most coronaviruses cause only mild symptoms, similar to those of the common cold. Other strains such as severe acute respiratory syndrome, aka SARS, and Middle East respiratory syndrome, aka MERS, can cause pneumonia and passing. We're just going to use the terminology passing. The California case was initially confirmed by Saturday by the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which contacted Orange County officials. There is no vaccine to protect against this virus, although the National Institutes of Health confirmed to Fox that they were in the early stages of developing one, and officials were hoping a lockdown placed on 13 cities in China elsewhere would help contain the virus from further spreading, but that is not the case, guys. And speaking of vaccines, there is no cure for that right now. They are trying to rush, they are trying to do their best, but they don't know much about this virus. It's a brand new virus, and they're also afraid of it mutating and becoming adapted to certain situations that get thrown in its path. Now, here in PA, there are universities that are requesting funding and budgets because they're trying to work on a cure, but they were saying that what they're working on probably wouldn't even be available for testing until 2021, so about a year. So we don't have a year. If you look at the way this has been growing and multiplying with, days passing, it's something to take serious, guys. It's definitely wild. It's definitely unbelievable. It's incredible that we're going through something like this during the new year. What a way to introduce the new year. Remember, guys, work on proper hygiene. If you have children, make sure you teach them. Wash your hands 7 to 15 times a day. Just continue to wash your hands. There's nothing wrong with having clean hands. Surfaces, Lysol your place. And if you can, stay out of public areas. Stay out of public environments, at least until you're fully aware that things are safe. It's up to you to educate yourself. I planted the seed right now. It's up to you to research. Knowledge is power, and what you do with it is even stronger. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. This is another episode of Wild and Unbelievable News. Make sure to comment the craziest story you guys heard on today's episode below. And as always, if you guys have any recommendations for crazy stories and news articles that's happening around the world that I don't know about, copy and paste the link below. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button, comment below, and until next time, guys, have a great day.